Hello, so how are you? Today we'll be talking about Fiverr. So many people have been asking, what is Fiverr? What goes on in Fiverr? Fiverr is just like Upwork. On Fiverr you'll be dealing with direct clients or direct contacts. But now you don't know how to set it up. Let's say you don't know how to set it up. This is the first part of setting it up. I'll be taking you through a step by step until whereby you will have your gig up and running, and I'll show you the basic steps of optimizing it. I won't show you everything. So what is Fiverr? Fiverr is a place where you can sell your gigs. By gigs I mean you can sell your service. So let's say, as you can see here, let's say you are a graphic designer. Let's look for graphic designers. So this way it pops up. It's a list of graphic designers on Fiverr, and as you can see, this is what we call a 5-star. This person has 206 5 stars, and there's this one, she has 501 5 stars. This one has 353 5 stars. This one has 44 5 stars, meaning that she has just started. And the 5-star goes a long way in triggering the Fiverr algorithm, so that when you start your gig, if you don't have the 5 stars, your gig will be down here on page something 100 and something. But once you start getting the 5-star reviews, your gig or service will be here. It will start topping up here, either on page 1 or page 2. So in basic terms, Fiverr is a marketplace whereby the buyer sells his gigs or services, posts them, and then the seller, who is today, I'll take myself as the seller as an example. No, I'll take myself as a buyer. So the seller posts their gigs or services, and the buyer looks for the seller. So today I'll be the buyer, and as a buyer, I'm just a buyer by example, so that I can show you the various gigs or services on Fiverr. So let's proceed and look for another service. Let's look for article writers, and as you can see, these ones are there. The people who are selling articles will be writing for you articles. They pop up here. Okay, the first page. Let's proceed and look for virtual assistants or VA. These ones are the virtual assistant. They pop up, and it's just like a mandatory thing that when someone pops up on the first page, they must have like 5 stars. Okay, this one has 4.9 stars, and then your gig must be optimized, or your service. And then there's these pictures here. These ones, we call them thumbnails. So the thumbnails attract the buyers, okay, the thumbnails attract the buyers. So you must have a shouting thumbnail, a thumbnail that when you look at it, just when I'm passing like this, there must be a thumbnail that slaps the hell out of me, like, hey, I'm shouting, I'm here, buy my service. Okay, so let me just pass and show you some shouting thumbnail. This one is shouting, this one is shouting, no dull colors. Okay, this one is shouting creativity full force. Let's go and look for another one. Look at this one. Look at this one. See, this one has just started, and because I know it's because of this thumbnail, he has already gotten a 5-star review. Then we proceed. Look at this one. It's not so creative, but it's shouting like, hey, notice me. Look at this one. So that is a thumbnail. Mostly the person who optimizes your service or your gig, that's their responsibility to give you a good thumbnail. So now that you have known what Fiverr is and what you can do on Fiverr, let's proceed to signing up on Fiverr. Okay, so the first step of signing up on Fiverr or joining here, it's using your email. I'm using a temporary email. I don't know if the domain will be allowed. Yeah, the domain can't be allowed, so let me use my real email, one of my. Now after the email has gone through, what you do next is you put your username. Your username is the name that will be shown up there when a buyer wants to buy your services. Okay, so many people put their username according to the services that they will be providing. As for me, I'll put just hello. So as for you, if you will be providing services according to your niche, let's say your niche is branding or graphic design, just write graphic designer 1, graphic designer 2, or the best or something. You can write anything. That's your username. So then I put my password and then I proceed to signing up. Now they'll send a verification email to your email address. You'll have to click it and verify. That is their first thing they do, so that your account can be active and you can proceed to making the gigs. Now this is the email that they have sent me, the activation email. Where you go, you press activate so that you can activate your account, and here it is. So they've told me my account is successfully activated. This is a great time to edit your profile. So the next step that you're going to do is you're going to edit your profile. You have to do that. Okay, so you proceed to editing your profile, and right here is where you put your full names. It is advisable for you to put your full names. Why? One, when let's say there is a security breach and they ask you for your identification details, mostly they'll ask you to submit a picture of your ID, and the names on the ID do not match your full names, your real names. Your account will be closed. Okay, so you're going to put your full names. So let's say my name today is Alan Majid. This one is my email. So you have to differentiate between your full name and your username. Your username is your alias, or you are also known as your business name, and then this one is your full name. Your full name is your formal name. So we move on. Don't bother about this one. So you save your changes. What happens when you deactivate your account? Blah 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 blah. So this one is the deactivation part. Okay, now after doing this, you proceed to your profile. And when you get to your profile, you have to edit all this one. Okay, these descriptions describing yourself. So who are you? You have to tell people, the potential buyers, who you are what you're doing, some things like those, what you'll be providing. And then you have to go to the languages. This one is very, very important. On the language part, you have to edit your language skills, and some gigs or services that you'll be providing needs you to do the language test or English language test. So you'll do it. Out here you'll list your skills, you add a skill. Si lazima, it's not a must the skill to be true, out here we survive by kujichocha. So you have to put some skills that you can do with them, but it's not a must. They won't test you about your skills. But the language, it's a must. You do the test. And then certification, you can say you awarded a certificate by Google, you did this, you did that, It's just kujichocha kidogo. And then we proceed again to creating a new gig. Now this is where it gets interesting. Don't forget to put a picture here. So this is where it gets interesting, because you have to fill some more information before you post your gig. Okay, so you press continue and continue. So your personal information, Alan, last name Majid. Now this one should be more than 60% for you to publish your gig. Okay, so the more information you feed it, the higher the percentage. You come here, you put a picture of yourself. So I'll put a picture of myself here. Now that's my picture loading. Then you go to description. Now on description you have to write something about yourself. And when I say something about yourself, I'm not saying something like who your family is, where you come from. No, you have to be professional and formal. What are you bringing to the table? Who are you? Okay, so I'll proceed and write something about myself. I always have this already made, something about myself to write. I'll just paste it, Control V. Now here it is. So if you can see the description, I'm describing myself professionally. I'm not saying that I'm from Kenya or whatever. The buyer doesn't give a where you're coming from. Okay, he just wants to know if you'll get their job done. So you have to say I've had outstanding experience. With the following web development, front end, whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, I've just dived in professionally. I'm describing myself. Can build website from scratch, wherever these terminologies, following skills, these are my skills. Okay, so having said all that, because I'm limited to 600 characters, I'll move ahead and describe my language. So my language is English. Language level, you must be very fluent. So you can describe yourself as a native, or you can describe yourself as fluent. You add that one. You proceed. Which other language do you know? You can say I know Kiswahili, whatever. So your occupation, what are you? So on this one today, I'm a programmer and technology assistant. Yeah, I can say I started this thing from professionally 2018 up to date. You have to choose your skills according to what you have chosen. If I choose here I'm a digital marketer, it will bring another thing. Okay, So you have to choose your skill. Just choose any skill, but there have to be 2 to 5 of them. And then you proceed to your skills. Now skills, if you don't know skills, what skills you have, you can just be googling. Make Google your friend. So these are the skills that are associated with writing and translation. You can just come here, you pick one, okay, you copy, you come here, you paste your skill, Control V, come here, you say you are an expert. Always say that you are an expert, okay? Don't never ever say that you're not an expert in something. Always, every day, when someone asks you if you can do something, say yes, I can do it. Even if you've no, you must have done it even once. Even if you never did it well, always say you know how to do it. You never know what you. Some people like me, if you don't know how to do it, but I say potential in you, I'll always give you that chance and teach you from scratch. So that's why I always insist, always say that you are an expert. Let's take another skill. Writing skills. Writing and communication. An expert, you add it. And then your education. So which country did you study in? So which country did you go? Did you do your university or your PhD or your whatever? So I'll go and scroll. Mine is South Africa. University. And then you can proceed and add more and more certification. So personal website, you have to insert something. It's not a must also. So www.com. This one is not even real, I've just written it. And this one here, what you'll do, you'll have to connect any account to any place. So let's say it's Facebook. Okay, now after doing all that and linking your account to, this is the last page. As you can see here, I had already verified my email. Now what's remaining is your phone number. You have to verify your phone number. You must verify your phone number by adding your phone number, and after doing that, if the percentage is more than 60, you can proceed and create your first gig. This lesson was about showing you the basics of Fiverr, what Fiverr is, and the next lesson I'll be teaching you how to set up your gig, your first gig. You need a minimum of 3 gigs so that your account, also that one boosts your account. So I'll be teaching you how to set your gig, a step-by-step guide. So don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned.